Alrighty. Happy Wednesday. You'll probably see me a little bit more formal during this class. I'm going to start recording the noon class because by 6 a.m. That time frame is getting kind of busier with a couple people before the class and somebody during the class now. So I'll start recording the noon class. So it'll be a small shift in that. But anyhow, so you see me get a little more formal, which probably is a good thing for my noon peeps. Anyhow, that's the reason why. Let's get to work. Monday, quick recap from Monday. We did the shoulders, bis, tris. We had the right leg, which everybody that I've heard from so far is like, I mean, why did that burn and hurt and why am I so sore? It's just how you did it versus exactly what you did with the 150 right leg and of course the 150 left leg. But anyhow, shoulders, bis, tris, you did the legs, you did the abs, but we also have that warm-up workout circuit that we did on Monday. Today is chest, back, we'll have different legs, we have our obliques, and we have a warm-up workout circuit. The downside is, we're going to start with our Renegade Rows that we did on Friday, which I didn't have the happiest of people this morning, but the Renegade Rows are going to sound like last Friday. But remember, I'm going to talk about the alternatives to doing the Renegade Row. The only downside is it might replicate things we do later on, and that's okay. The warm-up workout circuit, you got your warm-ups to move the body, and you got the workout components. So if you despise doing Renegade Rows, remember you're going to hear the alternative of doing the pushing and the alternating pulling. Anyhow, when you're ready, we did them Friday. 10 Renegade Rows would be 10 revolutions. Push, pull, pull. Now I know you're like, wait a second here. This is the first thing we're doing in our workout. Are you kidding me? I get it. So be mindful that we are working out and warming up all at the same time. So it doesn't need to be heavy. I want some good motion. I want some good load. L-O-A-D can be time under tension and your physical weight. 10 Renegade Rows. Remember, if you hate it, you can do 10 push-ups and you can do 10 alternating rows, which would be 10 each side alternating rows. And the total number is going to be 30 total movements. And again, that's if you hate, can't do, won't do Renegade Rows. Renegade Rows is the push-up, the core row, and the core row. The width of your feet determines the base, right? How wide your base is. Narrow feet, very hard. You got balance. Your base is small, wider feet. I don't want to say it's easier, but your base gets wider, your foundation gets wider, so it's not as much balance and coordination. 10 Renegade Rows, then you're going to lay on your back for your 20 sit-ups, whether it's legs straight or knees bent. You can lay on the ground, you can lay on a ball, you can lay on a bench on your 20 sit-ups. This is a workout warm-up circuit. We're doing a core with the Renegade Rows, upper body pushing and pulling. I know it's a hard combo or hard exercise, so I need you to focus on the task at hand, be safe when we do this warm-up workout circuit, which is pretty rare. This type of warm-up workout circuit. This circuit though is core, upper body, abs. Then we're going to have a leg. You'll see that coming up here in a little bit, different from the other day. Then we're going to have a chest back circuit. Then we have a right oblique. Then we have a chest back circuit. And then a left oblique. Again, it's going to sound like Monday with a couple little adjustments. Round 1 was your 10 Renegade Rows with your 20 on your sit-ups. Round 2 is your 8 Renegade Rows or 24 total movements. And again, if you hate doing Renegade Rows, you're going to do 8 push-ups and then 8 each side on your alternating rows. Round 2, 8 Renegade Rows. Then you're going to have your 20 reverse crunches, and that's where your legs are moving because of your abs. 8 renegade rows. Breathe and focus. Not in a hurry. Push, pull, pull. Push, pull, pull. Last Friday was the end of our Core and More series from February. So this is a core upper body focused exercise. And if you hate the act of the renegade row, give me the 8 push-ups and the 8 each side rows. Somehow, some way, we're warming up our chest and back. We're using our core while doing so. Round 2 is your 8 renegade rows with your 20 reverse crunches. Both legs are moving on your reverse crunches. Breathe. Your body can either be up. This is an iso reverse crunch. Isometric reverse crunch refers to the isometric ab position. The reverse crunch is the exercise. Or your body can be down. It's still good for you. Your legs are moving because of your abs. 20 reverse crunches. You won't do them again today. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of intent. Today is chest, back, legs, obliques, and some abs. Krishna, hello. I do believe you snuck in over there. Hello. Today sounds like Monday with different exercises and different muscles. We're on our warm-up workout circuit right now, which doesn't feel like a warm-up because it's challenging. It's hard. So I need you to be mindful. Round 3 when you get there, and I'm not saying you should be there. Round 3 is your 6 renegade rows, or 6 of each. And then you're going to have your legs in the air on your toe touches, which again, you have done these before. Push, core pull, focus, push, get focused, stay focused, push, core engagement, use your body, don't create momentum. It's supposed to be hard. I don't want it to hurt. If it hurts, you have different hand positions. You can leave the dumbbells on the ground and your hands can be next to the dumbbells as you do the push-up, and you grab the dumbbell as you need to grab the dumbbell for the row. You don't have to do them. Remember, you can always do the pushing 6 and then the alternating rows or the single side rows. I don't want you to hurt. I want it to be hard. Round 3, 6 renegade rows, 20 on your toe touch. And I still hear it to this day. Toe touches, they're so easy. Well, get your legs up, challenge the motion that you can have, slow it down. I know it's not the hardest ab. Slow it down, breathe and focus. You got a little balance and coordination when your legs stay in the air and you're trying to reach for your toes. Don't create momentum. And then a little bit of time under tension. Round 3, 6 renegade rows, 20 toe touches. Remember, people are going to be in different spaces. You got different equipment to use. You got different mindsets. Today here, it's a beautiful sunny day. I don't know what it's like down in Oregon or in Montana. We got the Northwest covered here in the phone call. Round 4 is your 4 renegade rows. 4. Then you're going to do your 20 Supermans. And then the last round, we'll have our V-ups in there, but we're not quite there yet. 4 renegade rows. Remember, when you get low reps is load increasing, whether it's time under tension or physical weight to hold, move, displace, and work with. 4 renegade rows, and then your 20 Supermans. Supermans is that muscle building version, the muscle strengthening version. Swimmers are great. I love swimmers. Swimmers is mobility of spine, activation of all those little muscles around your spine. Supermans, I want you to think you do lose mobility. You're supposed to increase muscle contraction. It's just not very comfortable to lay on your stomach. And I get that. 20 Supermans. Remember, this is a mean start to a nice, smooth workout. Renegade Rows with abs is your warm-up workout circuit. Some people think you're insane. I would never think that. I think you guys are glutton for punishment. When you get there, and again, I'm not saying you should be there, 2 Renegade Rows with your 20 V-ups. You won't repeat these abs today. You won't do any more Renegade Rows today. You're going to be able to rest your up body a little bit here really soon. 2 Renegade Rows is 2 push-ups and 2 each side rows. Breathe and focus. 2 Renegade Rows, 20 V-ups, V as in victory on your abs. Yes. Remember V-ups. They're hard. They're tough. They're not the best ab. I'm not saying they're a bad ab. However, how are you feeling today? Oh, my V-ups. Woo, feeling good today. Oh, V-ups. Oh, a little tired today. How do you feel today? V-ups are a huge gauge for that. Same with your overall fitness level. If you've been busting it out the last couple months, V-ups should feel pretty good. You know, mobility of hips and spine, and flexibility of your posterior muscles, and activation of your anterior muscles. V-ups are a great gauge for your general fitness level and how you're feeling today. When you get done, remember, I don't think you should be done. I just want to start talking about the next thing. We have 100 total alternating legs. The other day you did 150 right and 150 left. My intent is I want to loosen up those legs. I want to increase your blood flow with a little bit more warm-up-esque style pace. I would like it if you held on to some sort of weight, one weight up or down, or light with 2 weights. I would like that. You don't have to, but make sure you control that tempo. 100 total alternating legs. You can do any alternating legs. Your safer ones, I didn't say easier, your safer ones are stationary reverse lunges, alternating stiff-legged deadlifts, and that's because those are slower, longer, loading, pulling exercises. Now, it's not that they're unsafe, but stationary forward lunges, stationary lateral lunges, and step-ups, you need to focus a little bit more. You got a little more torque and leverage as you do a pushing, focused, dynamic exercise. So my intent is we're going to loosen up the legs you did on Monday. You can do any legs. I would love it if you held on to weight. You don't have to. Control your tempo. Time under tension. 2.5 to 3 second reps. Just so you hear it, stationary forward, stationary reverse, stationary lateral lunges. If you have room, walking forward, walking reverse lunges, alternating stiff-legged deadlifts, balance, lengthening, coordination, alternating step-ups, coordination, yeah, a little bit of balance too, alternating legs. Take your time. 100 total is only 50 each side, which is 1/3 of what you did the other day. You got one weight in your hand. You can have a right hand for a couple steps. You have the subtle weight distribution. You can hold in both hands up, one hand down, both hands down, mixing up your hands as you wish, because I would love the load physical weight and or time. Just so you hear it. Stationary reverse lunges and stiff-legged deadlifts. The non-moving leg is the loaded leg, and both of them you're pulling yourself back up. Pulling the stationary forward, stationary lateral, pushing, you're stepping, loading. The stepping leg is the loaded leg, and you're pushing yourself back. Step-ups, you can kind of asterisk step-ups based on the height of your step and the weight of your step. Step, load, time under tension, 2.5 to 3 second reps. So your stiff-leggeds have the longest lengthening component. Your lateral lunges will be a fairly long lengthening component. You got to focus on that lateral load, even though it's a pushing exercise. Stationary reverse lunges, they're not the slowest one in the book, but slow and load and pull. Stationary forward, slow, load, push. And of course, step up so you can asterisk the mindset behind pushing and pulling. Lower, heavier, pushing quads, higher, harder, more often than not hamstrings. 100 total legs. In my book, 2.5 to 3 second reps. That's 250 to 300 seconds. That's about 5 minutes of your alternating legs, which you should still be doing. However, I am going to start talking about the next circuit so you don't have to rest and you can get started on the next circuit. For those that are doing the recorder workout, you can push pause and come back to it soon. After your 100 total alternating legs, circuit 1 or circuit 3, however you want to look at it, is your chest flies. Lay on something on your chest flies, unless you have the cable and machine. 10 chest flies, laying on something for the most part. 10 lat pullovers, unless you have lat pull down machines. 10 chest flies, 10 lat pullovers, 5 rounds, 5 sets each. Just like the other day when we did our shoulders, bis, and tris. My only or my biggest recommendation is that you do need to rest your hands and arms because of how long you're holding onto weights. And I'll talk more about that as we go. So when you're ready, 10 chest flies. You can lay on the ground, you can lay on a ball, you can lay on a bench. Chest flies is slow and wide. Minimal hands, minimal arms. Your shoulder blades, they are moving a lot. Your shoulder blades cause the width of the exercise. 10 chest flies. You can lay on anything unless you have a cable or machine at the gym, fly machines. Then you have your 10 lat pullovers. Again, if you have machines, lat pull downs, you can stay laying on the same thing. 10 lat pullovers. Your shoulders are back and down. It's not that you're tight on the shoulders, but you want to keep those shoulders back and down, and you're going to reach above your head, and you're going to lengthen those lats, and you're going to contract those lats. 10 chest flies, 10 lat pulls, 5 rounds, 5 sets each. So if you're laying on the ground, you can lay on the ground the whole circuit. Rest your hands as you need to. You might want to mix up your tools, dumbbell flies and your plate or kettlebell pullovers. At the gym, cable flies with your lat pull downs. There's many ways to mix it up. Rest your hands. I want your chest and your lats. Now, as you know and you're used to, I've been talking the whole time. I'll let you have a little quiet time as you do your 10 chest flies and your 10 lat pulls. 5 rounds. As you're doing that circuit, the education behind your flies, again, you're probably laying on something for the most part, dumbbell flies, laying on something. If you're laying on the ground, you don't have a ton of motion, but maintain that slow, wide motion. If you're laying on a bench or ball, you might get more motion because you're able to go a little bit lower, but it's a slow, wide, pulling chest exercise. Lat pullovers, same thing. If you're laying on the ground, it's a great training tool for load as you reach way above your head. And be mindful, I'll even use the word careful. Be careful when you're laying on something elevated like the ball or bench, because there is such thing as too low, and then you're gonna pop your spinatus muscle, which is there's a couple ones that wrap around your shoulders, your infraspinatus and your supraspinatus. They're in a very weak, vulnerable position. Both are good. I don't talk about it very much because for the most part people are laying on the ground. Plus, it's a great way to lay on the ground for 5 minutes. Slow and wide on the fly, slow and long on the lat pullover, 10 on both times 5. When all 5 rounds are done, and I'm not saying you should be there, I just don't want you to rest. Like Monday you did 150 right legs. That was Monday. Today, we're gonna do 150 right obliques. Right obliques for 150 reps when you are done with your 10 fly, 10 lat pullover combo. You're gonna hear it several times, okay? I don't expect you to be there. However, you have right side up double lateral leg lifts. That is an option, a good option. You've got right side down hip dips. Again, good option. Hard option because of the position. You've got laying on your back, knees to your left, right side crunch. Great option for mobility of hips and spine, flexibility of your muscles around your hips and spine, and the activation of those obliques and muscles. It's not the best oblique exercise, but there's great components that are good for you with that mobility and flexibility. You could stand with the weight in your left hand and do standing loaded obliques. Again, probably a very common option at home, but you did hear that word loaded. It's either a lot of time under tension or significant heavy weights. At the gym, we have the hyper extension machine, the 45 degree. We've got cable rotations. We've got band rotations. So if you do have either of those tools, you have your band or cable, and you're gonna rotate from your left to your right, and that would be a right side oblique rotation. Some oblique exercises are aesthetical, ooh, they look good, and some oblique exercises are functional. They're good for the body and the hip mobility and the stuff and things. 150 right obliques. Now, you can formally make changes, 25 of this and 25 of that, and do as you wish. Don't fall asleep as you do your right obliques. One more time, left hand standing, loaded right obliques. Right side up, double lateral leg lifts. Right side down, hip dips. Lay on your back, knees to your left, right side crunch. At the gym, you're facing the garage the way I have it today. The right side is up on your hyperextension obliques. It's the same motion as your standing loaded obliques. It's just a different angle of the motion. And of course you have the cable or band rotations. Remember, today it might feel like the pace is low because of what I'm giving you, but actually the pace is very high because of the lack of rest. Tempo, on the other hand, is the controlled, moderate tempo. And of course, with the flies and the pullovers, it felt longer and slower. With the 100 legs you did earlier, longer and slower. The first circuit of the Renegade Rows and the abs, right? A challenging circuit. So the tempo might feel low, but innately we're not resting. Please don't go fast. In about a minute, I'll start talking about the next chest back circuit. And of course, I don't expect you to be done in a minute. 150 right obliques is about 5 to 6 minutes of work, just like the chest back, just like the 100 total legs. We have several of these circuits, and they're all about 5 to 6 minutes of work each. 150 right obliques. Slow, steady. They're not very big motion exercises. Hip dips isn't a big exercise, big motion. It's a hard position. Double lateral leg dips. It's not a lot of motion. It's a heavy motion exercise. You got your side crunches. It's the laying on your back and the mobility. Again, it's a hard flexibility position. The slowest one would be at the gym. The cable rotations would be your biggest, slowest position on your rotational obliques, and that'd be the most motion. 150. If you didn't feel your right leg after Monday or your left leg after Monday, then you and I need to have a private conversation, because the 150 right leg should have burned pretty good and maybe had some residual glute, hammy, quad, right? A little bit of work was done there. The right obliques, again, should technically be a little tender tomorrow. And of course, the left obliques will be coming later on today. Keep the focus. This is your time to shine. Lots of little mini circuits today. Task at hand. Maintain motion. Never lose motion. Increase, maintain load. Physical weight or time under tension. Control your tempo. You can increase your pace. Put a smile on your face and have some fun on a Wednesday workout. I am going to start talking about the next chest back circuit. Do not be discouraged if you're not there. Remember, if you need to push pause as you do the recorder workout, push pause. When you do get done with your right obliques, the next circuit is going to be different chest, and of course it's going to be pushing, and your traps, which is going to be pulling, not your lats. So it's still chest back. I want to change the exercises. At the gym, and of course some people have a lot of tools too, I want something heavier and I want you to push with your chest. Bar bench press, machine chest press, dumbbell chest press, TRX chest press. But of course, if you can only do push-ups, do push-ups. But I want something heavier, something harder on your chest press. Earlier, you did Renegade Rows, which did incorporate the push-up. You've got your 10 chest press. I'm looking for something heavy, hard, and challenging. And then you're gonna have your 10 trap rows. And again, for the most part, people are gonna be at home doing our dumbbell or kettlebell or barbell bent rows. You got your TRX rows. You got your machine and cable rows. 10 chest pushing, heavier hopefully. Remember, chest flies with slow and wide. Heavier on your 10 chest pushing. Then you're gonna have your 10 back pulling trap rows. 5 rounds, 5 sets each, just like earlier. Now, I don't expect you to be there, but I'm giving you this information so you don't have to take a break and you get this thing done. Very similar rhythm to Monday. And of course, the last 2 weeks I've given you guys these opportunities to mute me if you want to mute me, turn on your radio, and work hard. Of course, when I talk, I'm trying to give you information on what you should be doing, but whole different story. When you get done with your 150 right obliques, you got your 10 chest press. You can lay on something, ground, ball, or bench. Again, if you really want to do push-ups because that's the heaviest thing you can do your push-ups. You got machines, you got so many different tools. 10 chest press, 10 trap rows, 5 rounds. I would say the only downside of this circuit is that you're going to have to get up and down from whatever you lay on so you can do your rows. That's the only downside. So if you have a bench or ball or something elevated, you can lay on that. I don't really recommend your bed. It's too comfortable. Again, trap rows. You're going to primarily, for the most part, get low, stay low, row, using your core, your glutes, your legs, and of course your back muscles. If you have different tools, like the TRX, you're basically the opposite position as you row. You have a machine and cable row, you're going to sit tall on your machine or cable row. Your lats turn on when your hands come from above you, and your traps turn on when your hands come from in front of you. Back muscles. Whereas your chest can push and pull. You got all these different angles and machines and tools. You got a handful of lat machines and lat positions. You have all those motions. You have your traps, probably more tools associated with traps than there are lats. 10 chest press, 10 trap rows, 5 rounds. Please don't lift fast. However, you can get your circuit done. When it's all done, you'll then do the left obliques. Remember, mute me if you want, crank up your music. And when all that's done, we'll talk about the finishing 100 different legs if you have time. I will use the word extra credit. If you have the time and energy, there is one more thing at the end. Again, focus. Tempo, controlled high. However, chest pushing and trap rows are smaller, less lengthening motion than your chest flies and your lat pullovers. So naturally, they're going to be quicker exercises. So make sure they're heavy, which is why I said that earlier. Heavy. Chest pushing, back pulling. For the most part, it's the position change. You're going to have to change positions more than you did on your fly pullover circuits. Focus on you. Chest, back, abs have already been done. We've done some legs, some right obliques. We'll have left obliques and more legs. Noon on a Wednesday, a little worky, huffy, puffy, breathy. Focus. Again, when you get done with your 10 chest, 10 back times 5, you shouldn't be there, but you'll have your 150 left obliques. Try to replicate what you did on the right with your left. If you're a little bit off, that's okay. But if you did all standing right obliques, then you should do all standing left obliques. If you did a whole bunch of stuff on the ground, you should do a whole bunch more stuff on the ground. Take your time. Again, when you get there, left side down, hip dips is your left oblique. It's the only pushing oblique exercise. Left side up, double lateral leg lifts, pulling, load, challenging position exercise. Laying on your back, knees to your right, left side crunch, mobility of hips and spine, and your flexibility of the muscles around your hips and spine. Standing, weight in your left hand, loaded, whether it's physical weight or time. You have your rotations. You have hyperextension machine here at the gym. I'm only talking about it so you don't have to rest. You should not be done with that circuit. Today's intent was I nudged the pace a little bit. The 10 times 5 is pretty simple. You're all very used to the weights and rep progressions, 20 down by 4 and 30 down by 6s, and the rights and the lefts and the fronts and the backs. I use the word simple. It's not that it's easy, it's simple. Of course, these workouts, you enjoy a little quiet time as you wish. Turn up that volume. Human nature says when you know what to do, you can get it done a little bit quicker. Remember my number one rule, don't lose motion. Motion is always the most important thing. Time under tension, tempo, they kind of go hand in hand with the motion. Standing obliques. If you go fast, you're going to hurt yourself. Lat pullovers. If you try to go fast, you're going to hurt yourself. So there's certain things that if you do go too quick, you will hurt yourself. Some things like push-ups and rows, you can go too fast and be safe, and then you don't contract the muscle as much as you're supposed to. And we can get all scientific if you want to. You got your actin and myosin filaments, and they bind and they grind and they work, and you have these little sodium ion channels, and all the nutrients go back and forth, and your muscles rip and they recover and they do the things. That's how you get stronger. That's how that muscle looks better. And if you don't give it time to bind, then it won't work. Now, the Krebs cycle of calories burning is different from muscle contraction, but when those muscles contract, they yield an energy reaction. So if you give them a little more time to contract, you're going to have an increased energy reaction. Your body has to produce more energy to catch up, and that's when you burn fat. That's when you burn your calories. That's when you feel good and you get lean and you get strong. I know I beat a dead horse on that subject, but it's so true, and I still see it all the time. Little, quick movements are not beneficial. Well, my best friend Bobby, who's a bodybuilder, he does it. Well, your bodybuilder friend does 50 sets of chest on a Monday, and then 50 sets of back on a Tuesday, and then 50 sets of shoulders on a Wednesday. So ask Bobby about all the different motions and the tools and they hit the muscle so much. That's the difference between a person in a magazine and you and I that work and have a little noontime workout. All right, enough on the science stuff. Let's get back to work. When the 150 left obliques are done, and I'm not saying they should be done, right? We have one more thing to do, and again, all these circuits have been around 5 or 6 minutes, give or take. The first circuit, though, the warm-up workout circuit of Renegade Rows and the 100 abs, that was definitely probably 12, 15 minutes. Then you have the right oblique circuit. We had our 100 legs. We have the chest back. We had our right obliques. We had the different chest back. We had our left obliques. And we'll finish off with one more part of legs. don't expect you to be done with those obliques. I just don't want you to rest. So I'm going to start talking about the final circuit of legs here in a second. Remember the positions and the motions you did earlier. Chest flies and lat pullovers. Not a lot of position changes, maybe a little bit, but kind of controlled duration of the workout. It really changed when you got to the chest press and the trap rows, the tools you're using, the weights you have, the positions you're in, the obliques, right? That was a big difference for people between what obliques they did, or you. But when you do get done, we have 100 more legs coming your way, and I want 100 non-alternating legs. So, regular squats, wide squats, narrow squats. If you have a ball, my balls are there, ball squats. You've got your stiff-legged RDLs, and I use the stiff-legged RDL because most people call them RDLs. However, it really associates to more weight, more load, more power. Stiff-legged is a smooth version of that. Anyhow, I would love it if you had weight or weights. If you're doing regular squats, I would love the weight to be up. If you're doing wide squats, I would love the weight to be down in the middle. Narrow squats, you can mix up where the weight is. Stiff-legged RDLs, you're not stretching, but you're lengthening those hamstrings and glutes. And of course, I will simplify it for people and say that they're stretching their squat or lengthening their squat, but stiff-legged RDLs are a little different. And then ball squats. You need the tool to lean against on your ball squats. Please go slow. You've got 100 more non-alternating legs. And I would love it if you held on to weights. So you will have done 200 total legs today. You had done 300 legs on Monday, but more finitely, the 150 right and the 150 left. So today's more loosen them up, let them burn, and work out what you did on Monday. Again, after those 150 obliques are done, you've got, if you want it, 100 more non-alternating legs. When the weight is up on your regular squats, you're in a safe position. Your core will naturally turn on when that weight is up on your body. Hips, glutes, eyes, thighs, breathe. When I ask you to have the weight down on a wide squat, the weight does pull you down, and you're not supposed to go with it, right? You're supposed to let it pull you down. Keep that posture so you can get pulled down more on your wider flexibility squat. So that's why I want the weight down. When your core turns on too much, your hips will stop moving, so I do want the weight down. Narrow squats, you can mix up where that weight is, up or down. Ball squats, I would love the weight to be down as well, the ball squats. And stiff-leggeds, of course, stiff-legged RDLs are the weight is down. However, there's an exercise called good mornings, and that's where the weight is up normally with a bar, and it's the same idea. It's just where the weight is. So there actually is an exercise where the weight is up on your stiff-legged RDLs, and the exercise is called good mornings. 100 non-alternating legs. Now you might have just gotten started and you might have already been doing it for a while. Take your time. Finish strong. Today might have felt a little bit quick. We had a bunch of little circuits after that warm-up workout circuit. Like Monday, it might have felt like you got a lot of work done. A, you did. B, it was a lot of different work. A little more variety per se. Friday, of course, we're going to turn the dial up a little bit. We haven't done a lot of exertion lately. A little bit of exertion. We'll have some 2 movement exercises. Focus on you. Remember my big request. When you get done with workouts, don't turn off the button and go back to work and sit down. I want you to go recover for a second. After a workout like this, if you have time and energy, 3, 5, 8, 10 minutes of cardio, your body will recover faster, blood flow, all the things, and you'll be efficient and you'll burn a lot of fat. If you don't have energy, but you have time, stretch. Sit down and stretch for a while. Foam roll for a little bit. Put your body back together. Nourish, right? This is the best time to get the good stuff in your body. Your body will absorb and respond more to whatever you do after a workout. 20, 30 grams of protein after a workout, you will recover faster. Complex carbohydrates, the crunchy, tasty ones, you're going to get the energy back in the body that you need to enjoy the rest of your day. Hydration. Get that water in your body now. Get it hydrated. Electrolytes. Get the electrolytes in your body. Those will, when you get electrolytes in your body, Noon tablets, Gatorade, Powerade, you'll actually help your body absorb your water when you get enough electrolytes in your body, and of course you'll recover. I'm not saying drink electrolytes all day long, but when you drink them along with your water, it helps you absorb your water. Blah, 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 blah. When you get done, pat yourself on the back, chest, back, legs, abs, core, and obliques today. Happy Wednesday, everybody.